Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, Republican of Georgia, pledged to reintroduce a measure to censor Representative Rashida Tlaib on Saturday after the Michigan Congresswoman said President Biden is supporting the genocide of the Palestinian people with his backing of Israel's war in Gaza. Greene's first measure, also centered on Tlaib's comments critical of the Israeli government, failed in the House vote this week after 23 Republicans sided with all Democrats to shelve the attempt. In her pledge to censor Tlaib, Greene specifically included comments Tlaib made Saturday calling for peaceful coexistence between Palestinians and Israelis. From the river to the sea is an aspirational call for freedom, human rights, and peaceful coexistence, not death, destruction, or hate, Tlaib said on X, formerly Twitter. My work and advocacy is always centered in justice and dignity for all people, no matter faith or ethnicity. Greene described those comments as calls for the genocide of our great friend and ally Israel. She also specifically called out the 23 Republicans who sided with Tlaib in the first censor vote. They censored Adam Schiff, so they should be able to vote to censor her. She said terrorist Tlaib should be expelled, but let's see if we can at least censor her. Representative Adam Schiff was censored in June over comments critical of former President Trump. That effort, just like Greene's effort now, was denounced by Democrats as political theater. Earlier Saturday, Tlaib went after Biden for his administration's continued support for the Israeli war effort in Gaza. The Biden administration has strongly backed Israel in its conflict against Hamas, including pledging billions in aid for the country. In recent days, the administration has called for humanitarian pause in the war in order to assist Gaza civilians. Mr. President, the American people are not with you on this one, Tlaib said. We remember in 2024. Tlaib, who is of Palestinian heritage, one of just 3 Muslims in Congress, is one of the loudest voices in Congress in favor of a full ceasefire in the Middle Eastern conflict. Over a dozen House Democrats, Tlaib included, signed a resolution backing a ceasefire last month. So we're getting to a point now where you can say one thing and a person can hear the complete opposite of it. Now, if Tlaib was saying, I'm glad Hamas struck Israel and killed a bunch of innocent civilians, and Greene wanted to introduce this resolution and call her terrorist Tlaib, I would be right there going, yeah, that's not okay. That's crazy for you to even say something like that. But you read Greene's comment where she said, Tlaib's comment where she said, my work and advocacy is always centered in justice and dignity for all people, no matter faith or ethnicity. And she mentions the aspirational call for freedom, human rights, and peaceful coexistence. How in the world does that have anything to do with wanting the destruction of Israel? The genocide of Israel? What is that? Like, how do you get from a statement where someone says, well, first of all, her overall position is she wants a ceasefire. She's criticizing Biden over his complete full throttle backing of Israel, which I think she has a right to do. And I don't see how you can extrapolate from what she has said that this is someone that despises Jewish people and has a problem with their existence. It is literal just make believe at that point. And Greene is showing just like a lot of times people will look at a member of Congress and say, oh, this person is going to try to do this again. They really believe in this. But no, it is political theater, because when she gets ready, re-elections next year for her as well, just like all the other House members, and in this case, the president and some senators as well. She's going to put out some fundraising emails, and she's going to say, last year I stood up against terrorist Tlaib when she was calling for peace and a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas. I mean, when she was calling for the genocide of Israel, so she can lie and get paid for it. Tlaib is a member of the squad, and I've criticized them before. I said they're not really doing all of what I would prefer that they do, but in this instance, she has the position that is the one I think most people should be taking. You don't condone what Hamas did. You especially don't condone all of these innocent people dying. But you say, hey, look, one side has power, the other one is a subsection of a group of people who have been treated very poorly, and that's putting it lightly, for decades. And we need to stop firing on both sides so we can try to come to some sort of attempt at a resolution. Neither side's going to get all of what it wants, but that's better than innocent people getting murdered. What's wrong with that position? I'd love for someone to explain that to me. And it's like, there are a lot of right-wing people on Twitter, for example, and maybe I'll have to go and look at the comments, but like, I can't imagine, even if you're like someone that likes Greene for like, oh, the Democrats are socialist and they want the border to be overrun with the illegal immigrants. Like, even if you're one of those people, you don't look at this and say, okay, look, I'm not a fan of Tlaib. She's a socialist, whatever. But I don't see what's wrong with wanting a ceasefire, with not wanting any more weapons to be exchanged or firepower exchanged across either side. Like, like, that's why I said I'm just so sick of the partisan hackery. Like, if the situation were reversed and the Democrats were calling Greene an anti-Semite because she said that she wanted a ceasefire and that she wanted both sides to live in peace, even if it meant neither side getting all of what it wanted, I'd be sitting over here clapping in defense. This would be the damn MTG Defense Force, because I'd be the first one saying, hey, I support her effort, even if I don't support most of her views and other issues. This is not something to criticize her over. So I hope this resolution fails like it did the first time, and God, we're going to be stuck with Greene for another, unless she ends up being Trump's VP candidate or running for Senate, we're going to be stuck with her in the House for another, could be 20, 30 years, and I am not excited for that. It feels like every other week she's finding some way to slither her name back into the headlines. And it's not even over something courageous. You're trying to get someone censored for calling for peace. Like, how insane is that? Like Congress is so backwards that you can come out and say, I would like for the Israeli government to sit down with the individuals attacking them, that they're also attacking back, and try to compromise in some way that does not cause for more children, women, and old people to be senselessly murdered in a conflict that has gone on for decades. You can say that and have someone say that you need to be censored and expelled from Congress and you're a terror. Like, just complete insanity.